morning. I swear a lot.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Library of Ruina book club. We're continuing to cover the art book, and I would like to get it done today, but there are like 300 pages to cover, and it's not enough to just go through them, read them, and move on, or it wouldn't be very interesting. I have to talk about things, which means this could take quite a long time. So I'm promising nothing. This might be the end, this might not. I'll play it by ear. But we are starting now on, I believe, the guests, and there should be less information here than there was in the credenza entries in the game itself, so we might be able to get through this quite quickly. I don't know, we'll see. I go out to the streets, my hands in my pockets. The road. I still don't really know what that means. Belonging to no office, association, or syndicate, the rats spend each day trying to make ends meet and survive. Most of the time they salvage organs from bodies rolling about ditch graves in the back streets to turn a profit. They sleep together in their dwellings, probably hidden away in a corner of the streets like a rat's nest. While others might frown upon it, that hole in the wall is the coziest home a rat could ask for. Everyone calls these rats stragglers who have forfeited their dreams. They're scathingly viewed as scavengers that feed on what others throw away, or losers that complain about their current life without making any effort to change it for the better. However, it wouldn't be fair to say they never tried, and perhaps some are still clutching a dream in that gutter. No matter how bleak your reality is, I think having a dream is something to admire. These poor schmucks didn't stand a fucking chance. So we got Pete. He's 30 years old, male, 173, so 5'8". Birthday July 2nd, hot-tempered, big-mouthed, gutsy. He's transient, that's his occupation. He likes reading the weekly periodicals. He has a short-term memory, that's his specialty. Likes convenience food and when the sun sets, and dislikes peppermint eggs or peppermint and eggs, which is understandable. Voice acted by Lee Min Kyu. Ah, Pete, your drip was the first drip I stole, because it's quite good. That is a nice jacket. And I like the way he holds the knife, it's very cool. Lenny, VA Song Harim. Age 27, gender female, height 5'3", birthday May 1st, personality traits big-hearted, disgruntled, brusque. Occupation, transient. Hobbies, listening to music with a portable CD player. Polishing scalpels. Specialties, keeping her balance. Likes rock music and collecting. Literally anything. Dislikes uncleanliness, or tobacco. Just in general. And Mang Shir, voice acted by Kwon Seong Hyuk. Age 22 years. He's the youngest. And the biggest. Gender male. Height 5'9". Birthday, February 2nd. Personality traits, alert, afraid, inflexible. He's also a transient. His hobbies are constantly changing. His speciality is stitching with haste and neatness, usually for repairing his own clothes. He likes sandwiches, warm clothes, and beanies, and does not like brackens. I don't know what a bracken is. I have no idea. These characters, who were so, let's be real, nothing, like you demolished them at the start of the game when you don't even know what you're doing with little effort, are fully fleshed out human beings with their own thoughts, feelings, preferences, hopes, and dreams. I never really noticed it since I heard the line so many times during testing, but when I gave it another watch later, I realized that Pete actually has a pretty charming voice. I didn't hear these guys' voice because I hadn't had the voice acting on by that point, because I thought it would be better to read it instead. And then once everyone was like, no, trust me, turn on the voice acting, and I did, I realized how good it was. I am planning to do more of Library of Ruina in the future, so we'll probably go back and actually hear them together. But I would like to go back and listen to them. You know my dream, right? To become one of the fingers of the back streets? Pete's behavior left a deep impression on me. Even when everyone else is sunken in despair with their broken dreams, he proudly announces his ambition and puts his plans to reach it into action. I'm curious to see what he'd look like if his dream came true. Hard to say. I can't picture him being anything more than a small-time gang leader. This trio was one of the last to have their designs made. Since they're the very first guests, they needed to be unique yet weak at the same time. I remember putting off their designs time and time again because of this dilemma. That is tricky. Although it didn't make it into the game, I love the illustration where Pete was looking up at the bright seascape from the dim alley. I could pick up on Pete's feelings from that piece. I hope you'll live a happier life from now on, Petey. I fucking doubt it somehow. The city blows. The story of a rat who dreams. It's a fairy tale I've seen in various media, and one of the stories I liked. There were rats who were content with their current life and couldn't understand the dreaming rat. And there were rats who had chased after their dreams, but gave up after facing hardship. Looking at the stories of different rats, I wondered why they would say that you should be content with the present. It was nice to be able to tell a story elaborating on this topic, even if just a little. So you heard it here first, but ladies and gentlemen, Pete was basically inspired by Ratatouille. So that's cool. Is there animations? Yeah, Pete with the knife is great. It's a solid stance, decent moves, it's nothing too flashy, and that's what I like, it doesn't need to be. Mangshu with his hammer, Lenny with the scalpel, and then these are the card arts, which are pretty good. Yun's office. It's a grade 7 office run by a man named Yun. He's got a shallow and broad network of connections that had netted him a wide range of requests at first, but that seems to have run dry lately. So they've got no choice but to resort to dull jobs like looking for a pet until night falls or finding and blocking up the mouse holes in a house. Because of this drought of work, the fixers don't seem to have a whole lot of trust for each other. Those working for Yun apparently act on their own behalf often too. It looks like the operator has long since given up trying to keep them in check though. So, the big man himself, Yun, voice acted by Huang Changyung, age 32 years, gender male, height 5'10", birthday November 22nd, personality traits keen, highly ambitious, efficient. He's a grade 8 fixer, so he's still kind of garbage. Hobbies, taking light walks to clear his thoughts. Specialties, quick movement and networking. He likes smoking and fountain pens, but dislikes affairs that need cleaning up afterwards, like smoking and fountain pens. Eri, voice acted by Chung Yung Jung, age 29 years, gender female, height 4'11", she's fucking tiny. Birthday, 6th of March. That's the same day as my brother. Interesting. Personality traits, abrasive, callous, confident, grade 8, fixer. Watching sports, she likes watching sports games and workshop shopping. Specialities are hairdressing, picking mid to upper class weapons at workshops. Likes drinking, warm and snuggly clothes. Dislikes the cold, especially sharp winds, and complicated paperwork. This is very much a girl after my own heart. And Finn, who is 20 years old, voice acted by Kim In-hyung, gender male, height 4'10", he's even smaller than Eri, I couldn't believe it. Birthday, October 15th, personality traits optimistic, faint-hearted, and polite. He's a grade 9 fixer, so he's even more garbage. Hobbies, keeping a diary and parkour. Specialities, wood carving from small toys to pieces of furniture, persevering with persistence. He likes baggy hoodies, white milk, and his big sister, dislikes unreasonable things and cold-hearted people. I mean, these guys, shit, man, they were fucked from the beginning. No chance. If we hadn't come along and wiped them out... Actually, no, I was about to say, if we hadn't come along and wiped them out, someone else would have, but they weren't important enough to get wiped out by someone else. Maybe a syndicate would have raided them, perhaps because they were an easy target. That's the only... Other than that, they would have done the same shit jobs forever and died quietly. Not a lot going on with these guys. Good designs, though. I love Yun. Yun was the second drip I stole, because he has that unarmed fighting style that I really enjoy. Although his punches are a bit basic, I prefer something... Oh, actually, not a bit basic, they're a bit too clean, if you know what I mean. They're very, like, video game man punch, whereas I prefer something that dips into a bit more of what punching is actually like. Or at least the more cinematic forms of it, I don't know. But other than that, very cool. I like the coat. It's good look, one gloved hand, and the cigarette, it's very nice. Finn was the character who's used the most for testing purposes, to the point of forming a sense of affinity with him. It's unfortunate that he seems to have been dethroned by Dong Juan, the grade 1 fixer, where you need someone a little bit tougher to actually test some of those decks on, because Finn won't survive much from, like, Impuritas Civitatis, for instance. It was difficult to come up with names for the combat pages of Yun's office, so I had given the page where Eri swings her blade a temporary name, Eri's Wide Area Slash. Then the director saw that and turned it into an inside joke, which lasted a while. Go Wide Area Slash. In the initial draft, the background art that would be used for Yun's office actually belonged to Molar Office, until the script was changed. The design was based on a dilapidated lawyer's office. The types and names of fixer offices took many inspirations from the ways of law firms are reformed around a court. I like the stories of characters who try, the sort of characters who don't give in to the face of adversity and rise again with renewed determination to do better next time. Finn was one of those passionate fellows. Of course, effort doesn't always pay off in this world, but I still think that kind of mental strength matters. It does. Even if you go down swinging, at least you went down swinging. At least you tried. It's better than not trying. You'll go down either way, so you may as well give it a go. Turn that 0% chance of success into a 1% chance of success. I dig it. And here's our dudes. Yeah, like, I pretty much like all of Yun's animations except for this. This punch is so... That's not a punch. It's like the form for a jab, but he's not doing a jab, and it's like chest height as well, and like, you don't punch people in the chest. Now, I guess if you have bionically or augmented limbs, as it were, it wouldn't really matter where you punch someone, it's gonna fucking hurt, but still, it's interesting to see all of this. Right, that's decent in the sense that it's stylish, not that it's a good punch, but that it's stylish, it's a backhand with a fist, and the dodging and the blocking is all very cool, and then you get this, and it's just... It seems very... I don't know... lacking in form. It doesn't matter that much, but I remember that punch did bother me. I don't like that punch. That punch annoys me. I still can't believe that you get like 20 to 30 minutes into the game and you've already got a character who uses an eviscerator. Like, that's pretty cool. Two-handed chainsword, you gotta love it. And she's tiny and uses a massive fucking chainsword. That's cool. That's very cool. Finn is Finn. He's got a little serrated blade that's kind of serrated on the wrong side. That's about all I've got for him. And these guys actually look surprisingly cool. The grade 9 Yun Fixers. It's a very basic design. I like these basic designs. I like someone who looks like they actually belong in the world they're in and don't look like an MMORPG final boss. Or even just a JRPG final boss, or both, or an MMORPG character, or they're from World of Warcraft. I like people who look realistic. I often find over-the-top designs, not even over-the-top designs, but especially elaborate designs, are so overdone that I don't even really register them. I don't register the details, I just look at this big, complicated array of gold and red, and I'm like, okay. My brain immediately just, like, stores that information away as being unimportant, like their appearance. I don't take anything away from it. The Brotherhood of Iron, a certain lot who've replaced their entire bodies with artificial ones. They've undergone a procedure that quite literally substitutes biological parts with mechanical components. While prostheses most likely serve a wide array of functions, the performance is directly proportional to the price of the procedure. With a prosthetic body, you can eliminate the need for sleep or food, possess greater strength, move at ludicrous speeds, and more. Today, the city offers a wide selection of prosthetic implant procedures loaded with various technologies. When you look at it this way, it appears the purpose of prosthetics is to remedy the inconveniences of the human body. Because of such benefits, people are recommended to take augmentation procedures of any kind, not just limited to prosthetic implants in this world. Your chances of survival are significantly lower without such augmentation, whether you're a fixer or a syndicate member. Yeah, these guys have cool designs. I think Conster's was probably the coolest, with the big sword on his back and the hood over the top. Very nice design. They seem kind of out of place, but it feels intentional, because they're kind of intended to be a sort of outlier, like they're not normal. They kind of are, but they're also kind of not. To highlight the fact that they have been irrevocably changed from being human, really. So we got Mo, voice actor Song Halim, who we just saw up there. Age unknown, gender unknown, height 5'7", birthday July 12th. Personality traits, short-tempered, sensitive, unhesitating. Occupation, unspecified. Hobbies, polishing their components. Specialities, blowing things up. Likes, a rich life. Dislikes, the rain and power outages. I remember very little about Mo, I gotta be honest. Is Mo using a gun? Is that a gun? It looks like a gun. I guess it probably isn't, but it looks like a gun from here. Like, you got like a little strap and like that bit there, and this end looks like a muzzle. I don't know. That's pretty cool though. Arnold, voice actor Kim Hyung-soo, age unknown, gender unknown, height 5'9", birthday July 14th, personality traits, quiet, dense, meek. I feel like I'm presenting like a dating show, and I'm presenting these characters as like potential dating opportunities, like contestant number 2, hobby, sitting still with their head empty, speciality, spending a whole day without speaking a single word. This guy's not doing very well. Likes, fish and almonds, dislikes ice picks, hair-raising drill noises. What do you guys think of contestant number 2? Isn't he a keeper? Conster, VA, Hong Huibeck. Age, unknown, gender unknown, height, 5'9", birthday, October 10th, personality traits, gullible, simple, wary. Occupation, unspecified, hobbies, reading food-related books, specialties, hardiness, likes chatting and break time, dislikes, aggressiveness or hunger, sadly longs for the feeling now, however. That's ironic, isn't it? You hate being hungry, but you know, being hungry allows you to enjoy food more, or indeed at all, really. If you're not hungry, you're probably not going to enjoy food very much. When I first saw You Only Live Once and blow it up in the card plan document, I almost fixed the names thinking they were typos. Being the first characters in the game to showcase the concept of prosthetic bodies, they were also going to be early game guests, meaning that we had to avoid making them look too powerful. That naturally led to us to motifs like rusted iron and scrap metal, which resulted in the designs we have now. The running poses of the Brotherhood of Iron were inspired by the way the robots run in the film Terminator. Since the Brotherhood had such ludicrous imagery, though, the poses came to convey a completely different feeling. These characters are notable for their buffered speech modules. I think it was fun to consider how to proceed with recording their voice lines. This is a side note, but when I skimmed through the scenario at first, I thought Mo was named Momo because of this quirky speech pattern. Momo. Yeah, this is another group where I didn't get to hear the voices because I beat them in the first episode and I had the voice acting turned off. So another group I'm looking forward to going back and listening to when the time comes. Not soon, but when the time comes, I will go do it. Ah, see, Mo's weapon looks a lot smaller here, but here, it's just a standard, like, chainsword. I guess no, that's just completely different to what it is. Straight up, that's just not the same weapon. Unless he's holding it. Well, no, that's a completely different weapon. Unless he's holding it at an angle, perhaps. With the blade facing behind him and the guard facing in front. But even then, that's a bit of a. I don't know about that. But these guys are cool. I like them. I like their designs. Conster in particular was a favorite. I think I gave that to Malkuth pretty early on because it looked cool. And I wish I'd used their cards more, actually, because I'd have loved to have made use of some of this stuff, and maybe we'll have the chance to do that in the future. Hook Office. It's an office founded by someone who once got seriously bruised by a murderous syndicate, now hiring that same syndicate. You don't see this kind of stuff every day, I'll be honest. I'm not sure in the details, but they make this a marketing point to be noticed by potential clients. An office run by the former members of a kill syndicate. Well, this novelty strat seems to be doing a good job attracting requests, I've heard. Though here's a word of advice from me. You should practice some caution when you make a request to an office of this kind. They might leave a bigger mess than you'd want. So this was the first time it really felt like we were going up against someone capable, as it were, a group that was significant, which is funny because they're literally grade 8, grade 9 fixers. They're not that strong. But they might honestly be such low-grade fixers because they were originally syndicate members and have only just become fixers, so they haven't actually had the time to work their way up yet. But this was definitely the first time where I was like, oh, these guys actually kind of mean business, which is hilarious given the context of the entire game and everything else we go up against. But at the time, you know, Tayan with his weapon, that's very impressive. McCullen is physically intimidating, and Naoki has those double kukli. It makes sense. Anyway, Tayan, voice actor, Shin Byom-sik, age 26 years, gender male, height 5'7", birthday March 9th. Tayan has the same birthday as me. No way. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. Personality traits: cruel, daring, and tactful. Grade 8 fixer. Hobbies: reading workshop catalogs and yo-yoing. Oh, I miss yo-yoing. Specialties: swift movement. Likes plain white rice. Dislikes sluggish and frustrating things. Peaches and bad odors. You just like plain rice on its own? Sure, man. Whatever. Naoki, VA, Kimbona, age 24 years, gender, female, what am I saying? Female. Height, 5 foot, birthday, September 22nd, personality traits, impulsive, resolute, and fearless, grade 9 fixer. Hobbies: metal detecting, blade polishing, specialities, pathfinding, likes Japgok Bap, which is multigrain rice, dislikes jalapenos, pickles, anything fermented. I like jalapenos, but I'm really bad with spicy things, so I just kind of can't eat them. But I like them. McCullen, age 30 years, gender male, height 6'3", the first character we've met who's actually taller than me. Interesting. Birthday, August 12th. Personality traits: steadfast, dependable, and aggressive. Grade 9. Hobbies: calisthenics, McCullen, really. Specialties: long distance running. Likes Japgok Bap. He likes the multigrain rice too. Dislikes raw food. I'm quite curious to learn how a bionic weapon operates. Maybe it's like moving your body to hit stuff? Close enough. Of course, there are all sorts of bionic weapons, so I can't say for sure that it's how it works, but the kind of weapons that guy uses can be controlled similar to how we move our limbs. Oh, and the calories from food can be used as energy too. Cheap ones are sometimes sold in bags like this, and Roland did a little doodle of a bionics bag. The weaponry Tayan has equipped is a bionic weapon manufactured by the workshop Union Co. Initially, we had written down profiles for several workshops, but they didn't make it into the game due to issues with adjusting the number of contents. Bionic weapons sadly didn't appear after this point. Hook Office's symbol is one of the icons I like from her earlier creations. I remember looking up a lot of graffiti images to figure out the shape of teeth that would better depict the feeling of rough dudes, as well as the imagery of hooks to go with it. I liked how the meat hooks and the mean grin turned out to be a better match than I thought, but I do think the icon could have been better if the bloodstains were drawn as areas rather than red lines. Yeah, maybe, but I think it's a nice effect overall. It's perhaps not one of the most standout logos in the game, but it's good. It conveys what it needs to convey. I'm personally a fan of Hook Office's combat page illustrations. If someone with murderous intent runs at you with their eyes glowing red in a dusky street where the only source of light is the moon and the urban glow softly shining on you from afar, I think anyone would be frozen stiff and defenseless in that kind of situation. I probably would be. I like the concept of the bionic weapons as used by Tame. There was a favourite work of mine where characters could morph parts of their bodies into weaponry, and seeing them battle used to pump me up. This isn't exactly the same as that, but I think I still like it in a similar sense. I wanted to introduce more bionic weapons, but unfortunately I haven't had the opportunity to do it within this game. Next game, more bionic weapons. Where's Doc Ock? I want Doc Ock in the city. Gotta have him. He's gotta be there. Looking for a man spider of some kind. But these designs were cool. I didn't even notice that these guys did have red glowing eyes. I mean, Tayan doesn't, but McCullen and Naoki do. I had no idea they did that. That's really cool. McCullen's is especially intimidating. That's really cool. Yeah, these combat pages are nice. Very nice. Hey, we just beat Canard. Hooray, we're on to urban myth. They do not have the time to think about the terror at the end of the song before the setting of the sun, life and death. Ah, good times, good old days. Pierre's Bistro, a restaurant aged 11 years in the streets of District 23. Although it's not super popular or anything, it has quite a few regulars. Its speciality is meat-based foods, and the main dish is Pierre's signature thick meat pies. I've never tried one myself, but according to its patrons, the abundance and juiciness of the meat make for a fantastic meal. Now here's the funny bit, some people don't seem to know what the pie is made of. Well, Pierre, the head chef of the establishment, isn't the type to babble out for things no one asked. Besides, we were talking about District 23, the streets of flavor, you know? Whatever methods or ingredients were used to make the food, most of those folks don't pay any attention. They'd rather be taking another bite out of their tasty grub if they have the time to ask questions. As infamous as District 23 is, I heard the food is really that good. You want to try that? Are you guys serious? They're probably serious. May as well eat people, why not? There are a million reasons why not. Pierre, VA, Kim Soo-young. Age, 34, gender, female, height, 5'6", she's one of the taller females. Birthday, June 28th, personality traits, brilliant, creative, spontaneous, occupation, chef, hobbies, polishing kitchenware, developing new dishes, specialties, quick mental arithmetic and ingredient hunting. She likes watching Jack enjoy her food and olives, dislikes herbal scents, green tea and basil. I like to think that most of what makes her work worthwhile is just sitting and watching Jack enjoy her food. Jack, VA, Lee Min Kure, age 32 years, gender, male, height, 6'3", another character who's taller than me. Birthday, February 15th, personality traits, amicable, gentle, and feisty. Occupation, sous chef, ingredient procurement. Hobbies, checking the freshness of ingredients, sampling Pierre's new dishes. Specialities, preparing ingredients quickly. Likes, Pierre, dislikes fishy smells and tart food. He just likes Pierre in general. Respectable. I earned the nickname Uncle Jam of Sujigur around the studio. Hand grippers are one of the few exercise tools you can use in an office environment, so I would work my fingers from time to time to get my blood circulating. Then my coworkers gave me the nickname, joking about how I could make jam with my grip strength. I didn't expect meat jam to actually be brought up in the game. Well, there you go. They're guests that show a hint of the cruel side of the city. I put meat jam in the script without giving it much thought, but I was surprised to learn later that it's actually real food. Looking at them now makes me realize that time sure flies like an arrow. Meat pies. I'll make this meat pie one day. I remember thinking a lot about what the relationship between Jack and Pierre would be when writing the script for them. Are they a couple, friends, or simple business partners working towards a goal? Ultimately, it didn't change the fact that they cherish each other. I think the episode for these two characters was when we started making dialogue tied to special events. Characters in earlier chapters would only speak for themselves, but we gradually added more special lines to give a sense of affinity between them as we progressed. Yeah, and it's small details like that that really flesh things out. No pun intended. Pierre's animations are pretty cool, I gotta say. Never really used Jack's, but they're cool. And these fucking combat cards are insane, these combat pages. This one. The ones with Pierre, honestly, especially, that's striking, that speaks for itself. Streetlight Office. They're an associate office designated by the Survey Association. Streetlight Office is currently keeping the peace of about 2 blocks of territory. A peacekeeping officer's only duty is to watch over a given area, which isn't all that difficult as a main task. One caveat is that they're obligated to fulfill any requests issued by the association. While the office's grade is rather low considering that it was established a mere 2 years ago, it would seem that its members have formed quite a strong bond with each other. First of all, we start with my boy, San. He's so cool. VA Shin Byom-sik, age 29 years, gender male, height 5'10", birthday April 23rd, personality traits kind, careful, and industrious. He's a grade 6 fixer. Hobbies include organizing work and having small chats. Specialities are quick situational judgment and a positive mentality. Likes peppermint, his colleagues, his younger brother. Dislikes selfish people and sour food. Good old San. And it's annoying, I can't remember his name right now, but his brother is also really cool. It's appropriate that both of them are just generally very cool, because they're both quite understated characters who are clearly competent and fight in cool ways, and I think that's why I like both of them. Neither of them are too, they don't push themselves to the forefront too much. They're not acting like they're the main characters of their worlds. They're just doing their jobs, doing their best, trying to look after the people around them. And I like that. Mars, VA, Li Gushang, age 24 years, gender male, height 5'8", birthday February 14th, Valentine's Day? Personality traits, flexible, logical, somewhat compulsive, grade 7 fixer, hobbies, board games, specialties, wielding great swords, like strawberry cake and the sword his mum gave him. Dislikes noise, concentrating on one thing for too long. Now, Mars is the exact opposite of San, in that he is very much a main character. He is very much the main character of his own story. But while I do prefer, you know, the character who isn't the main character of their own story as opposed to the one who is, I still like Mars. He's cool. He was a decent guy. Clearly had a lot of potential. That didn't really go anywhere. Maybe it will now, but I doubt it somehow. Lulu, VA, Sun Sun Yong, age 24 years, gender female, height 5'1", birthday June 18th, personality traits daring, impatient, and active, grade 7. Hobbies, exercise, especially swimming, and eating sweets. Specialities, striking with precision, including moving targets. As a baseball bat user, I would assume. Likes pâté à choux and chocolate cake. I don't know what pâté à choux is. Dislikes the rain and dark places. That's why she lights a bat on fire, obviously. It's the same symbol that was featured in the physical invitation pamphlet. It was designated to signify that the streetlight becomes a fence that protects people. For a symbol that was designed pretty early on, I'm satisfied with how meaningful it turned out. The only thing I feel could have been better is that the shape of the streetlight lamp is slightly off. Let's have a look. Yeah, I suppose so, but I like it. I like that design, it is good. My first impression of Streetlight Office was that they're neighborly. Having just finished reading the dark stories from over the past probably reinforced that impression. I don't think that's a bad thing though. They have their own goals, working hard in their own right. The office was a ray of light shining on the dreary, intimidating streets of the city. Its characters aren't too far removed from reality, which helped me grow fond of them, but just who is Mars's mother? Which I thought was going to be answered in-game, but it never was. As soon as we happened to kill Mars, I was certain that she would be making an appearance if she was such a prominent fixer, or at least we would hear about her learning of Mars's death. This group of guests was designed based on the trope of a traditional trio of protagonists. Yeah, I heard this a lot in the comments. In particular, we wanted Mars to feel like the protagonist of a comic series. That may have been the reason it took a fair bit of time to decide on a voice actor to play his role. Yeah, these guys were cool. As my boy San, I used that drip for ages, and then I eventually seeded it to forehead so that I could be something different, but it's very cool. Like, I like this dodge. I like the, I like how he seems to, swap the grip of his weapon. I always like that, going back and forth between the two. It's generally very cool. I never really saw Mars's much, but they're solid, and Lulu's is cool too. And there's, oh, I didn't realize these two mirrored each other. Oh, that's really cool. I never noticed that before. Those two combat pages. I can't remember what those combat pages are right now, but that's really neat. One of Lulu's friends uses a spear? I didn't know that. That's cool. Why did I never see that? Was that the one that was removed? And here are the hook fixers. These guys are fucking cool. This one is very cool. Might make more use of these if I do another playthrough in the future, because I'd like to have some different looking characters. Here are the butchers. Their stuff. Moron's urban legend. And I savor the magnificent fragrance of the sacrifice which fills my room. Yes, this is definitely a card. I like thinking, Roland. Like, yes, it is square, rectangular and red. I don't know why that's making me laugh, but it is. Yes. It's made of paper or card. Hard to say, we'll write this down. Kim, get your notebook. Zwei Association, South Section 6. A public security association with the slogan, Your Shield. They're usually tasked with keeping the peace in assigned territories. You can tell them apart from other fixers by their simple uniforms and man-sized swords, and that their tactics tend to be more defensive than others. Protecting the client is their #1 priority, so they don't go out of their way to take lives unless the situation is that dire. In other words, their job is to defend, first and foremost. The catch is that their prices are a bit too high for an individual client to afford easily. The fee they ask for guarding even just a tiny area is ridiculous, no joke, though giving them the money is going to be your only option if you're desperate for protection. So that is definitely why I was very keen on these guys, because I have a weird disconnect in how I play games and generally enjoy this certain concept, right? And this sounds strange, but I'll explain. Whenever I've played most kinds of games, if I play boxing games, strategy games, RPGs, what have you, I always tell myself that I want something defensive. I want something defensive, I want to focus on blocks, dodges, counters, parries, riposts, all that stuff, and Zwei is definitely that. But then when I start playing the game and get better at it, I often realize that I play a lot better when I'm aggressive. If I lean into more aggressive tactics, I personally tend to play a lot better. When I'm playing boxing games, I don't do that well as a defensive outfighter. I often play a lot better when I play more aggressively. In strategy games, I often don't do that well when I set up defensive positions with lots of guns, but I tend to do better when I play something more aggressive that flanks and rushes the enemy. And it was the same here as well. I was definitely better with more aggressive builds than I was with more defensive builds, and at the end of the day, I ended up preferring the Lure Association to the Zwei, despite the Lure being more focused on all-out offensives. I don't understand myself on this front. They can wield swords bigger than their bodies so easily. I guess that shows how skilled they are, right? I've been made aware that there are vigilante groups in the back streets who provide similar services. Well, they can't realistically stand on guard duty all day, but they do a good enough job. So let's get into this. Walter, VA, Li Guxiang. Age, 46 years. I swear I've said that name like 5 different ways. Gender, male. Height, 6 foot. He's roughly my height. Birthday, February 1st. Personality traits, impudent, uncompromising, and realistic. Grade 5 fixer. Hobbies, crossword puzzles. Specialities, eloquence, likes honor and bitter coffee, dislikes dogs. You suck. And sweet food. Isadora, VA, Kim Yun-woo. Age, 29 years. Gender, female. Height, 5'2". Birthday, January 11th. Personality traits, prickly, compassionate, and prudent. Grade 6 fixer. Hobbies, daydreaming while burritoed up in a blanket. I like her more already. Specialities, organization, gathering intelligence, likes green tea and strawberries, and dislikes seaweed. Same age as me as well. Julia, VA Song Halim, which we've heard a few times. Age, 29 years. Gender, female. Height, 5'4". Birthday, May 27th. Personality traits, meek, proactive, and thoughtful. Grade 6 fixer. Hobbies, card games. Specialities, holding a facial expression, comforting or consoling others. Likes crepes and coffee, dislikes chocolate. Julia was the first character I made chibi sprites for since joining the studio. Adjusting to the art style was hard at the beginning, and the sprite went through constant adjustments until it was put in the game. Looking at it now, I see a lot of room for improvement, but it's all the result of the hard work of my past self. They were designed using police as a motif. I distinctly remember the characters since their designs took shape rather quickly. Isadora in particular was used frequently as a target dummy for testing chibi sprites or effects. I look forward to the day when we'll introduce more powerful fixes from the Zwei. I want to see Isadora and Julia come back, to be honest. To me, Isadora was the one who left the deepest impression out of the Zwei as a whole. She was the test dummy I used for conceptualizing the presentation of combat. I made demo videos for elements like the pace of poses during an engagement, camera movement, dice, and card drawing to show the programmers. They did a stellar job making it all a reality, and my thanks to Isadora for serving as a test subject throughout all this. Poor Isadora. The Spy, it's one of my favorite associations. Their clean attire and building interior, the office full of busy people dealing with new cases happening all the time. I like how it encapsulates the feeling of a police station you can commonly see. In this game, we only got to show the atmosphere of Section 6 of the Southern Branch, but I'd like to elaborate on the roles and tones of other sections if we get the chance. The Spy's imagery is probably one of the first things that come to mind when you read about the lore of fixers. Yeah, that's about right. It's very businesslike. Well, not... yeah, very businesslike, but definitely more like a police station. And these are my spy people. This guy getting... is that Walter? Is that supposed to be Walter getting fucking bodied by the stray dogs? Saw that one a lot. That, I never really got to use that card much, but I love that art. I love it very much. Yeah, these guys were cool. And here, yeah, here are the sprites. Isidora's cool. These are great, though. I really liked the standard Zwei characters. Like, it definitely had that understated look to them, which I liked. You know, you've got the blue coat, and it's a suit, and they use basic swords. Like, it's very simple, but it's very well done. And this right here, this guy, you see with the hand behind his back? I love that. I love that bit of form. Whether or not that's practical in real life, I have no fucking clue. I'm not a sword guy, but visually, that looks great. I love that. Yeah, he looks even better on her, to be honest. Fantastic. The Stray Dogs, a subsidiary of the Thumb, one of the 5 fingers. I forgot that they were a subsidiary of the Thumb. They're typified by the enhancement tattoos covering their skin and the large accessories they're wearing. The dogs are infamous for being feral, but they don't bite just anyone they see, although they might look like an anarchic pack of brutes. That Xiong Mir guy's got the charisma of a proper leader. He values promises with comrades above all else. Yeah, for real. Xiong Mir, VA, Kwon Seong Hyuk. Age, 35 years. Gender, male. Height, 6'3". Birthday, August 31st. Personality traits, unrestrained, oppressive, and aggressive. His hobbies are strength training, I would fucking assume. Specialities, quick eating, likes meat, dislikes broken promises and behavior that harms the pack. Zulu, VA, Kim Hyun Soo, age 33 years, gender male, height 5'10", birthday March 18th. Personality traits, taciturn, principled, and doubtful. Hobbies, outdoor camping. Specialities, heavy hits, yeah. Likes parsley and kohlrabi, dislikes mutton. And then Dino, or Dino, VA, Hong Hubek. Age, 32 years, gender male, height 5'7", birthday August 30th, personality traits poised, attentive, and violent. Hobbies, boxing, styling his hair. What a cool guy. Specialities, agility. Yeah, he actually seems like the one out of these 3. Insinuated fighting style would be the one I'd like the most. Likes quiet places and salad, dislikes perfume. So I liked these guys for their focus on hand-to-hand CQC physical combat. Punching, stamping, kicking, all of it. Fantastic. And indeed, Xiong Mir himself was basically the model for Zaru and what he would go on to become. So yeah, obviously I like these guys quite a bit because I almost never changed Zaru's appearance because it was perfect and there was no reason to change it. Being a huge lover of animals, the word stray dogs troubled my mind so much that I made a plan for a general invitation of adopted dogs. It obviously didn't pass though. That'd be even more tragic. I remember them most for their tattoos and promises, on top of the fact that they show off their tattoos rather than hide them. It's the confidence in their own strength that I like. Maybe one day Dino will have his whole body covered with tattoos like Xiong Mir and Zulu? Yeah, he'll get there, he'll get there. She's a big one on his tummy. I think it's important to keep promises, yeah. Yeah, it is. Because the combat sprites were limited to chibi proportions, the punches and kicks of the stray dogs turned out cute rather than cool, which was a shame. Please imagine that they're throwing impactful and hard-hitting blows like what the combat page art suggests. Don't worry, that's exactly what I imagined, 100%. I was way into it. These combat pages actually 100% fueled my thoughts on it, like especially, this isn't a combat page, but this image. I found it very easy to imagine just how much Xiong Mir was beating the fuck out of whoever that was. That was Zwei member. Xiong Mir attracted more attention than I expected. He was designed after a designer in our team. We initially wanted to use his real name, but ultimately decided to go with a different one. That guy must be a legend. Hello, it's Xiong Mir. I enjoy combat sports, and I think I was in the middle of taking wrestling lessons when this character was being made. Right now, I'm going light on exercise due to ankle problems, but I'd like to resume training once I've recovered and preach the importance of promises like Xiong Mir does. Keep going, you absolute legend. be the biggest developer anyone's ever seen. Yeah, these sprites are cool. Looking at them, I actually think Zulu might have the coolest ones, because he, as you can see, his arms are hooked. Like, he's throwing hooks and uppercuts. Like, very tight to the body, in-fighting kind of punches. Which I'm a big fan of. I like this. Whereas Zhongmi does the thing that I hate. I mean, it's cool in fiction, but I find it difficult to ignore, and that's the double axe handle. That does not work. That is not a thing. You can't do that. You would break your fucking hand. You break your fingers. Yeah, you would just break most of your fingers if you actually nailed someone with a double axe handle. And on top of that, the bottom of your hands, where your little finger is soft. That is a very soft part of the hand. You're not going to do much damage, and you're going to hurt yourself. Now, maybe Zhongmi is so strong that it doesn't fucking matter, but whenever I see that, it bothers me. And, like, I'm not the only one who knows this. I'm sure everyone does, but for some reason, it especially bothers me. Don't know. Dino's is cool, but this kick looks terrible. I get it. It's a back kick. It's like a spinning back kick, which is actually very cool. Dino is very close to being the kind of fighting style I would want to see, but the kicks just look a little awkward, which is, you know, the nature of the chibi sprites. I don't think that's anyone's fault. But it's still cool. I still like it. Molar Office. Molar Office prides itself on the skillfully interlocked coordination of its fixers. They don't operate alone if possible. While they are competent fixers when it comes to resolving requests, many first-time clients are concerned by their somewhat unstable demeanor and the way they carelessly go through the formalities of contracts. Something you wouldn't see in other, more trusty offices. This office prefers to handle requests by going on a full offensive to wipe out the target first, rather than taking a defensive approach, which can seem rather reckless at times, though apparently there is a sizable population of clients that like it this way. Yeah, I don't see Olga being much of a tactician, to be honest. I think she'd be a very effective fixer, but tactician, maybe not. So, Olga, VA, Kim Soo-young, age 33 years, gender female, height 5'9", birthday June 21st, personality traits bold, kindly and decisive, grade 5 fixer, she likes reading and social drinking, specialities driving and daring decisions, likes drinking bouts and mystery novels, dislikes being nagged at and stuffy clothes. I like Olga, I do. I like Olga. Solid waifu material. Mika, VA, Chung Yeo-jung, age 23 years, gender female, height 4'11", she's tiny, birthday September 13th, personality traits honest, delicate, perfectionist, she's grade 7 fixer, hobbies include stretching and hiking, specialities are flexibility and sprinting, likes vacations and places with a good view, dislikes bitter food and unhygienic places. Rain, VA, Huang Shang-yung, age 23 years, gender male, height 5'3", birthday January 10th, personality traits analytical, savvy and critical, grade 7 fixer, hobbies solving puzzle cubes, clearing metal puzzles, specialities memorizing, scolding, likes things he can focus on, dislikes jelly and strong tasting food. Who doesn't like strong tasting food? I love strong flavors. Might be because I'm a smoker and my taste buds are a little dulled as a result, but yeah, no, I'm big on strong tasting food. I like sharp, strong flavors. I remember talking to my friend about Mika from Molar Office because they had an almost identical name. Although her role wasn't anything major, that friend is short and adorable just like Mika, which makes her memorable to me. Aw. I think this is the point where the plot truly begins to unfold. Mio from the previous game is mentioned here, and the subplot involving W Corp marks its beginning as well. I wanted to implement multi-hit effects since they were using chainsaws, but unfortunately couldn't due to limitations. That is unfortunate. Might have given them a little bit more oomph. I adore Olga's character design. I found her personality enjoyable. I would like to try working for a boss like Olga as long as she doesn't fetch weird requests for us. I think she would agree to stuff about probably while drunk and then be like, oh yeah, we gotta do this now. And that would be most of your life. There are many offices with unique names, but Molar Office takes the cake for me. I was particularly impressed by how the office name symbolizes the way the fixers mesh together to grind through requests. I also like that even though they get into arguments and seem volatile, they still rely on each other. Yeah, like they squabble a lot, but they get along very well. Everyone here definitely gets along well. They're a good team. Well, I mean, I'd say I'm glad they got off the train, but the fact of the matter is if they had just stayed on the train, probably would have been fine. Though it's possible that Elena and Jae Hong may have eliminated them because they were fixers who may have posed a threat to what they were trying to do on the train, so who knows, maybe they were screwed anyway. But actually they're fine now because of the, you know, the ending. Yeah, Olga's cool. I like women who wear ties. It's a vibe. It's a good vibe. Rain was cool. I have to say, I've never liked this weird trope of wearing a jacket on your shoulders while not wearing the sleeves. I've never understood it. I've always thought it looked remarkably stupid. Even as a kid, as a little kid watching Yu-Gi-Oh!, I thought the Pharaoh looked like a fucking idiot, and Yugi even more so. I was like, just put your arms in the sleeves. It's a coat, not a cape. If you want a cape, wear a cape. Don't wear your coat like a cape. It looks stupid. And for the love of God, don't try and do that in real life, because it looks even stupider. The smallest things send me on rants. Truly. Hey, Axe Gang. I love that they're just characterized by the fact that they use axes. That's a nice coat. I like it. I liked these designs because, once again, they're very simple. They're very understated, but clean, and they look good. I like this one especially, I think. I like the blade. And the brown suit is nice, but I do love a good blue suit. And I thought this was just a bit much. This just looked kind of silly. The idea that this would be a standard design for a fixer seemed a little ridiculous, but that's just me. That is entirely just me. I thought these designs were pretty cool, but I didn't like how they looked. I didn't like this stance, actually. I like the weapon resting on the shoulder stance, but here with the chibi sprites, they always looked really derpy for some reason. Something about their posture here and the head on it made it look kind of dumb. Which is a shame, because everything else about this design I think looks fantastic. This one is great. Emmett was rocking this for most of the game, and I loved it. That is very good. It's a very good stance. I'm actually going to leave this here, ladies and gentlemen, because as it turns out, talking about each of these as much as I have been, and to be honest, I haven't even been waxing that lyrical about each of the individual areas, as it were, each of the individual offices and stuff. It's still taking longer than I expect, and I think if I try and force myself through it, then I'm literally going to be sat here reading the information out loud and saying nothing else. So we're going to have to pace this. The book club is going to go on for a few more episodes. Let's just face facts and just be okay with it, alright? We're going to be stretching this out a few more. I don't like it, because I like to finish things. I like to get as much done in a video as possible, but sitting here just reading, I can only do it for short amounts of time. And to be fair, it's been about an hour, but I can only do it for short amounts of time, or I start to get really... A, I start getting antsy, and B, I start to really lose interest. Which is a shame, because I don't... That's why I'm stopping, in fact, because I don't want to lose interest, because I'm interested in this, but just sitting here reading out loud kind of does me in after a while. It also hurts my throat more than just recording normally, probably because there's more volume of talking versus how long I've been recording for, because there are typically more breaks when I'm playing a game. So yeah, we're going to break this up a bit more. We're going to keep it going. It'll get done. It'll get done eventually. It's more Ruina videos, I suppose, so everyone can be happy with that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to Teacup of Doom, Beep, Adash Sanjeev, Alkir, Honeydew Corporation, Sweet Baby Red, MB Alias, Lord Skullington, Jessicatty, Plutonium Pie, Dreamer Ghost, Leper Lullaby, K-Bub, Magical, The Frostbite, Monsoon, World, Jumping with Joy, Warmasoku, SCP-106A, Namad, and KDT800 for supporting me on Patreon. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you all so much for watching. It's been cool. I like going through the art book. I genuinely do. There's been a lot of interesting information here, and seeing all these old characters again, who I haven't seen for such a long time, but seeing them kind of in a bit more detail visually has been great. I've enjoyed it. I just can't do it for extended periods of time. It hurts my soul. I don't know how fast we're going to get through these. I think I've done about 40 pages today. I hope to have a faster pace than that in the future, but I promise nothing, right? Like... This is an awkward thing to do in general, this series, but I'm happy to do it, but it does mean we're going to have to space this out a bit. But I'm rambling, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Whatever happens next time, obviously it's going to be the Urban Plague onwards. We'll see how it goes. I will try and get through it a bit more quickly, or at least get more done in one sitting, but like I said, I promise nothing. But what I do promise is that I hope I see you there. Doodles, goodbye.